Hello, Year 9, and welcome to Lesson 2 of the week. We're looking at development as our new topic, and our second lesson of development is to examine the different methods used to classify development. Our learning objective then today is made up of three different tasks or three different objectives. The first one then is to define the key terms of development. We're then going to move on and explain different ways of classifying parts of the world based on quality of life and economic development. And then finally, we're going to have a go at answering a geographical skilled exam question. Again, your equipment for today, you need the internet for Google Forms, pen and paper, or a Word document. Doesn't matter which one you use, but if you are using pen and paper, can you make sure that your handwriting is clear for when you upload to ClassChat so that we can read it? And just a recap of your level, if your MG is up to a 4, you should be doing developing task. If your MG is a 5 or 6, you should be doing secured task. If your MG is 7 or above, you should be doing master task. And remember, I'm not saying that you can't push yourself and do a higher task than your MG, just telling you what we'd expect you to do within the lesson. So our first learning objective of the lesson is to define the key terms of development. To do this, you're going to open Google Forms and complete the definition quiz. Once you've done that, can you take a screenshot of your score? So just pause the video now, open up your Google Forms and complete the Google Forms quiz, please. Okay, so moving on to learning objective 2 of this lesson, we're going to look at how we classify countries' development. Now, you need to be able to describe the three different methods of classification of a country. And you need to be able to tell me what their strengths and weaknesses are. So what are the good things and bad things about these types of development? Now, before we get onto the task, I just want you on a piece of paper to create this table. You will need at least, say, 3 lines for each section of the table. So can you just quickly pause the video and get this table created, please? Right, now you've got your table created. I'm just going to go on to the task, okay? So you need to use the classification video attached to ClassChat to complete the research about the 3 different methods of classifying countries' development. So for the developing, I want you to be able to describe each method. So you're going to complete the first column of each for each one of the different classifications of development. For secured, I then want you to add the strengths and the weaknesses. Now, in the video, you're not going to actually see strengths and weaknesses. There's going to be, for each one, a couple of bullet points, and they're going to ask you different questions. And if you answer them, they should tell you whether it's a good thing or a bad thing in terms of the way we measure development. You can put them in the correct order of strength or weakness. And then for mastered, you just need to rank your classifications from best to worst. So 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. And then you just need to justify why you've ranked it that way. So why you think number 1 is the best and why you think number 5 is the worst, okay? So I'm going to ask you to pause this video, go back into ClassChat so that you can watch the other video to complete this task. Okay, moving on to learning objective 3 of this lesson. We're going to have a go at answering a GCSE geographical skilled question. So the first thing I want to ask you to do is study Figure 5. Figure 5, okay, is a table showing you the development indicators for 3 different countries. And those development indicators are your GNI, so that's how much money a country is making per person per year on average. You've got your life expectancy, that is the average age that people live to, and your adult literacy rate, and that's the percentage of your population that can read and write. And remember, that's people over the age of 16, okay? And the 3 countries we're looking at are Sierra Leone, China, and Italy. Now, if I divide them into our 3 categories, you've got your NEE, which is China, you've got your LIC, which is Sierra Leone, and your HIC, which is Italy. Now, remember, we know this because to be a HIC, you have to be over $12,000. To be an LIC, you'll be below $1,000. And then an NEE is anything that's in between those 2 figures, okay? And as you can see, Italy is over $12,000, Sierra Leone is under $1,000, and then China at 3,650 is between the 2 figures. And that's how we have put them into those 3 categories. Right, moving on to the question that I'm going to ask you to answer then. Explain how one of the indicators of development in figure 5 shows a difference in development between the three countries. So how does one of those three development indicators show that they have different levels of development? So to answer this question, we're going to use PEDAL. So first of all, our point will be one piece of data that shows difference between the three countries is, and that's where you pick out one of your three indicators. So if I was to say life expectancy, that would be my first point. Evidence for this then, this indicates that Italy would have a better quality of life than Sierra Leone and China because, so if we look, Italy's life expectancy is 83, whereas China's 75 and Sierra Leone is 45. So Italy, is the highest. Why is that good? Why is that good? What does that tell us about Italy? If people are living longer, what do they have access to in their country? And is that social? Is it economic? Is it environmental? Is it political? Okay. But then move on to developing. What does this mean? So what does it mean for the future of those countries? So what does it mean for Italy? What does it mean for China? Okay, remember linking it back to the question, how does it make what does their development mean for their country? Okay. Finally, we're going to then link it to the future. This links to future SEEP development and that's where you talk about social, economic, environmental, political, and you explain why. So if it's social, why is it helping people? If it's economic, why is it helping the economy? Why is it making them richer? If it's environmental, how's it helping nature? If it's political, how does the government help? Okay, and explain your link to it. So for the task, I want you for developing, secured, and mastered. For developing, you're going to do the point and the evidence. For secured, you're going to do point, evidence, and develop. And then for mastered, you'll do point, evidence, develop, and link. Once you've completed this task, I want you to take a picture of your answer ready to upload to ClassCharts. Okay, so just pause the video now and complete the work. So that brings us to the end of lesson 2 of development. And just a quick recap of what I want you to upload to ClassCharts. So first of all, I'd like you to upload your different classifications of development. That was your second task. So that's links to your second learning objective, explain ways of classifying parts of the world based on its quality of life and economic development. And then finally, the second piece of work I'd like you to upload is your geographical skilled question. And again, that just links to your final learning objective, which was practicing a geographical skilled question. So well done for participating today, Year 9. Really looking forward to seeing your work. Keep up the hard work, guys, and you'll look forward to talking to you next week in lesson 3.